What's up guys and welcome. You're watching Fazi Fitness. So starting today's video with some men's physique updates. Let's start with the champ Erin Banks. For those of you guys who do not know, he is actually competing at the Legion Sports this weekend. So he is also dialing it in right now. He is a unique champion in that aspect. That usually Mr. Olympias of any division, they only focus on one show, the Olympia. But Erin isn't afraid to compete multiple times and also defend his title at the Olympia. So Breon Hendrickson was the one who started this trend. If you guys remember back in 2018, when he won the Olympia, he competed multiple times after that, but he was unable to defend his title in 2019. So Erin Banks dominated the Arnold Classic this year. He also won the Arnold 2022 prior to winning the Olympia. And I have to say, this guy is an alien. A waist that measures 24 inches. Let me give you guys some more perspective on that. His waist is of the same size as Nick Walker's arms. That is funny, but it is also true. His back looks to be on a different level compared to the other competitors. On top of that, he is like the tallest guy in that men's physique first call-out. He has those crazy deep abs. His shoulder to waist ratio is wild. So he is gonna stand out on the Olympia stage once again. Breon Hendrickson did not agree with the judge's decision last year, so he is fired up for this rematch. Realistically speaking, him and Erin Banks will be number 1 and number 2 once again at this year's Men's Physique Olympia. Not gonna lie, Breon does look very impressive from every angle, and this is gonna be his last dance. If he quits the competitive side of the sport, being on the top of that game, meaning after winning this year's Mr. Olympia, that will be such a great story. Plus, if he wins here in November, he will tie the record of Jeremy's 4 Olympia wins. So talking about Jeremy Buendia, you have got to give credit to Jeremy for sticking to his words and making this comeback happen. He is giving his 100% right now to bring his absolute best. And he believes that this will be his best ever. So can he top that legendary 2017 physique? That is hard to say. But if he in fact does that, he is gonna break a lot of hearts. What I mean by that is he is probably gonna win the Olympia title. But that is a very big if. Now, whether you hate him or love him, you have got to understand he is very good for this division. So this is gonna be a great year for men's physique as well. Both Jeremy Buendia and Breon Hendrickson, basically 2 of the greatest champions this division has ever seen, they are retiring after this year's Mr. Olympia. That isn't an update from Samson Dauda. I just want to point out the freaking detail on the side of his legs that is peeking through those pants. Actually, while I was making this video, Samson did post an update on his Instagram story, so you can really see the detail in the side of his legs, and that is just nuts. The judges want him even better than what we saw at the Arnold Classic, not only in size aspect, but more importantly the conditioning aspect. And we have to keep in mind we still have 30 more days before this year's Mr. Olympia, so he is gonna keep digging deep and present something that his team and the bodybuilding fans will be proud of. Nothing in bodybuilding is guaranteed, but we are just loving this mindset that 5 guys are entering this year's Mr. Olympia with the mentality of becoming Mr. Olympia. Last year, that wasn't the case. All of us were way off in our predictions, because almost 99% of us had Big Ramy winning the title. But that isn't the case this year. Talk about classic physique. Breon Ansley will always be considered one of the best in this division. And thanks to the IFBB Pro League for adding some more weight to the classic physique weight limits. So Breon Ansley will now have another year to give to the classic physique division. He looks really good right now. And the thing is, you just cannot count him out. People did that last year as well, but he was still in that top 4. And Breon is one of those guys who we can almost guarantee that he will make the most out of this added weight limit, because he has been struggling with the same weight cap since 2017. Chris Cormier knows his body really well, so he is gonna make sure that Breon doesn't miss his mark, especially in terms of conditioning. Unfortunately, we did not get to see Good Vito's pro debut this year. But Samdi's pro debut is coming up in 6 weeks' time. And you have to be excited for that, because this is also another one that took some time to come. Samdi, aka Marcelo, is one of the most famous athletes from Brazil. So we are gonna hear a lot of noise as we get closer to the competition. Plus, Mr. Olympia will be done by then. So all the eyes will be on these guys who will be doing the post-Olympia tour. Samdi was made for the men's open class. There was just no way he could thrive in classic physique. He was unable to make the weight cutoff, but even if he somehow did that, I don't think he would have done very well in that division. If you guys remember back in 2018, Regan Grimes did try to compete in classic physique, and he himself now admits that that wasn't a good experience at all, especially the things that he had to do to make the weight cutoff. So Milos is the one who is calling the shots for Samdi, and they have been working together for quite some time now. Marcelo is pretty good at posing and hiding his flaws, especially that waist of his. His waist is kinda thicker, or in other words, a little wider, but he hides it very well on the stage. And that is what I want you guys to notice here. His waistline has stayed the same as it was back in 2021, while everything else grew. So he is gonna be a great physique to watch out for in the men's open bodybuilding. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.